You can only imagine the studio calls about this woman behind the scene. Like,
I had no idea what I was auditioning for when I auditioned.
and our lead actress hates our film, our actors, our storyline.
So it's a kind of a hilarious question to say, like, what drew you to the material? Is that, like, I didn't realize that I was reading lines.
It's just a total nightmare for the studios. So now she's trying to sell, like,
And then it became like, I will elbow everyone out of here to play the part.
I wouldn't even recognize her on the street, so I find it hard to believe these kids are coming up and asking for selfies. This has to be set up. I wouldn't know her from Adam walking down the block.
Rachel Zegler just did something that even people who don't like her never expected. Some people who work with the theater show called Evita say that Rachel shocked the people in charge. She told them they need to replace her male co-star with a trans actor.
It's obviously a very convoluted subject, and I'm not fully equipped to talk about all of the gritty details, what she sees in the world. And it's definitely not lost on her that her themes are very much prevalent in the world. And I'm really thankful that we get to kind of hold the mirror up to society and ask them those questions without necessarily force-feeding them an answer.
That's right. Some people are saying this is one of the biggest casting fights in theater today. Rachel said that the famous male part in the show should not be played by a regular man anymore. This role has always been played by either Juan Perón or a character called Chi. She wanted them to think about gender in a new way. She said that having a regular man play this part sends the wrong message to people today. People who know what happened say she wasn't just asking nicely. She was saying, do this or else.
We don't want to hear from Rachel Zegler about feminism or her life or what she wants to do with her body. Be an actress, be young, be an ingenue in Hollywood. I don't understand what she's doing. The fastest way to tank your career, go out there and start running your mouth and crashing the original IP and film your ass. Also, there's nothing wrong with wanting a man. Can we not have chivalry in this world anymore? There's nothing wrong with saying, you know what, I'd love for a man to come scoop me up and provide for me.
TLDR, the girls and the gays, we all want a man. We all dream about true love.
Behind the scenes, everything got really crazy. People who know what happened say the show's bosses were totally shocked. One person said it felt less like a normal talk and more like a big bomb going off. Rachel said her idea was a brave way to include more different types of people. She thought Evita could become a place for people who don't usually get chances to perform. But people who criticize her don't see it that way. Many people are saying she's trying to take over a show she was only hired to act in, not change completely.
In awe of all of them, the precision that it takes to do what they do, to get notes on the daily and incorporate them immediately, it's like such an ensemble piece.
Our last week here, I feel like Diego really became a man here.
I did. I grew out my face and I'm still working on it.
I just put my blonde wig on for the first time, and I'm thinking about becoming a blonde. I'll show you a photo. And I'll show you a photo.
Together.
Look how sweet, right?
Rachel.
It's wild.
And people are really mad about it. People who love theater the old way are calling it a betrayal of what the musical used to be. People from Argentina are really angry because they think she's going too far with their culture. Even some people who usually like progressive ideas are saying this move seems fake, like it's more about Rachel than about helping people. So what really happened when no one else was watching? And why are some people saying the whole show might fall apart now? Stay with us because this story isn't just about picking actors anymore. It's about who gets to control things, and what's happening backstage might change theater forever.
It looks like all this agenda is for the sake of girl power, for the sake of wokeness, for the sake of ridiculousness and stupidness that women bring to entertainment much of the time nowadays. When all a woman really has to do is be attractive and don't screw it up. That's all a woman really has to do in me.
For people who have been watching Rachel Zegler's career lately, this new problem might not be totally shocking. The actress who seemed so promising in West Side Story has slowly become one of the most controversial people in entertainment today. This happened because she keeps doing things that are all about politics and causes. When she was promoting Disney's new Snow White movie, everything went wrong. She made fun of the original movie's story, said the prince was creepy, and said the love story was old-fashioned and bad.
Disney, get your girl. Rachel Zegler is making it very difficult to be excited for the new Snow White movie that's supposed to come out. If you are living under a rock, there's been a lot of controversy about the fact that Rachel Zegler is playing Snow White in the film. That's not where my problem comes. I'm all for it. But what she's doing in press, and these are interviews that I believe were done before the actors strike, but of course are now being brought up on the internet. She's basically talking about how much she didn't like the actual original movie, even saying that it scared her, and then talking about how the love story in this isn't really going to be at the forefront, that Prince, yes, has been cast, he's in it, but might be cut, Hollywood, and that the Prince in the original film was problematic and it was creepy because he was stalking Snow White. I just can't believe that Disney's PR hasn't silenced her on this yet. The live-action movies already have a problem where people are kind of over them and they don't like the changes that are being made from the originals to these. And with this one, we're definitely going to...
At one point, she even said the classic movie was made in 1937, so it doesn't matter anymore. People got mad at her right away, and it was really bad. Fans said she was being mean to traditions, changing beloved stories to fit her narrow ideas, and using every interview to preach about social issues. But instead of stopping, Rachel kept going even harder. She said that people being mad at her just proved that society still doesn't like strong women who speak their minds.
Disney is delaying Snow White over a year until 2025.
You're just giving Rachel Zegler more time to ruin the PR for this movie once the strike is over.
Yes.
Talking about how we don't need a prince. Maybe that's why they're delaying it. They're reshooting the whole thing to get rid of the prince.
Teens and Screens, a report came out this week. Apparently, Gen Z doesn't want to see any romance. What seems strange to me is that stories and entertainments used to be a way that you could see examples of what you could live up to, showing us traditional stories, traditional archetypes. And now the idea is that if what you're seeing on screen doesn't mirror your life, there's something wrong with on screen. And I found that to be very bizarre. Like, I can see things on screen that I think are authentic even though they don't mirror my exact experience.
From Snow White to Eva, she keeps doing the same thing over and over. She gets a role, criticizes the original story, and tries to change the whole thing from the inside. People who support her think she's someone we need, someone who isn't scared to say uncomfortable truths. But people who criticize her say she's not making stories better, she's destroying them. And when she supposedly walked into Evita rehearsals and demanded the show be changed to match what she believes, many people felt like this was just another chapter in a story they've seen before.
Rachel Zegler led Disney to their biggest failure in 100 years with Snow White, and now she's just flopped again on Broadway. Before Rachel Zegler got started doing movies, she was actually a popular theater actress in New York City who was known for doing productions like Little Mermaid. That was a big reason she was able to beat out the other 30,000 actresses who auditioned to be in the movie West Side Story, which was her first performance. That movie ended up bombing hard, where it only made $76 million on a budget of $100 million, and after marketing and tickets, it actually lost $120 million. Still, her director Steven Spielberg loved working with her, so he actually recommended her for Disney for the role of Snow White. The movie had a lot of hate going for it, the right calling Rachel Zegler too woke, the left saying that they didn't like Gail Gadot because she was an Israeli veteran, and also at the same time many people just being sick of being neighbors. And it flopped hard, making only $200 million on a budget of $270 million, which means after marketing for this list, the movie actually lost around $250 million to Disney. Now Rachel Zegler tried to return to theater to make a recovery, doing Romeo plus Juliet on Broadway, but the problem was ticket sales just weren't that good. People calling the play just average, saying it was a bad attempt to get Gen Z to theater, and with that, Charles Perrault was bad arrangement.
But this time it was even more serious because this wasn't just a made-up fairy tale. This was about a real cultural icon based on actual history, and what Rachel supposedly did next would shock everyone working on the production.
People are really mad at Rachel Zegler. Because of the actors and writers strikes that are happening in Hollywood, she just did an interview where she demanded to have her salary increased.
I'm gonna stand there 18 hours in a dress of an iconic Disney princess. I deserve to be paid for every hour that it is streamed online.
But considering she's making millions of dollars playing the role of Snow White, many became infuriated by her comments, saying sarcastic things like she has the perfect attitude for a Disney princess, and she seems like a ball of sunshine.
Yeah, this girl doesn't really help the movie. The more she speaks, the less people want to watch it. And users in the comments didn't hold back. She's paid for a movie nobody asked for, and still nobody wants. Yep, and another one, bro, she just blew up. Can she chill? She's been in like 3 movies. Exactly, just...
To understand just how shocking Rachel Zegler's supposed casting demand really was, you need to understand the roles she reportedly tried to change. In every big production of Evita, 2 male leads tell the story. Juan Perón, who was Argentina's powerful president, and Che, the revolutionary narrator who criticizes Eva's rise to power. These aren't small characters. They're the most important parts of the musical. That's why Rachel's reported demand to replace one of them with a trans actor wasn't seen as a simple update. People saw it as completely rewriting the show's foundation. People who know what happened say Rachel called the current casting wrong for a generation that doesn't think in old ways about gender. She pushed for a change that would show modern ideas about gender identity and include everyone. Some people thought her position was brave. Others, especially people in the theater world, thought it was disruptive. Critics asked, is this Evita or activism dressed up like a show? The creative team was supposedly totally surprised. Rewrites were suggested, masculine lines were going to be changed, and tension during practice got worse and worse. Inside the production, some people called her the person running the show without actually being in charge. Outside, the controversy exploded all over social media and in the news, turning a classic revival into a lightning rod for cultural fights. Even worse, people in Argentina got really angry, and Eva Perón is a national hero there. Argentine newspapers accused Rachel of being culturally arrogant and treating their history like a Hollywood movie script. People started petitions, fans fought with each other, and even LGBT+ groups spoke up with concerns, saying that including everyone should never happen by erasing historical truth. Now people in the industry are asking questions. Is Rachel Zegler a visionary or someone who's too risky and volatile? Movie studios are reportedly being careful around her. Brand deals got put on hold. Directors are nervous about working with her. As one person inside the industry said, she might be brilliant, but she's exhausting. From Snow White to Evita, the pattern is getting hard to ignore. Challenge a classic, change its core, make people angry, and stay quiet while everything falls apart. Is Rachel pushing theater into a bold new time, or rewriting history just to get headlines and applause? Don't forget to subscribe for more breakdowns from the front lines of pop culture controversy. And hit the bell icon, because if this keeps happening, the next headline could be even bigger.